Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto, all things that we love, all manga that were originally published in the legendary magazine Weekly Shonen Jump.
But not every series can run for 300 chapters and have a hit anime. This is David.
This is Jordan.
We're the hosts of Shonen Flop. Each episode we look at manga that ran in Jump that didn't quite make it.
We discuss what it did wrong, what it did right, how the series could have turned itself around, and ultimately, was it a flop or not?
We're on all your favorite podcast apps, and you can find us at shonenflop.com.
Keep on flopping, floppers.
Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to yet another exciting chapter of A Tale of D20's Descent into the Void, where 6 friends journey together to tell a story of mythic proportion.
Gather round, gather round. Let me tell you a tale of life and death, of joy and sorrow, a tale of D20s.
Before we begin, some announcements. Let's start off with our spotlight. This week, Nothing But Dice. They are a 2-team podcast that will merge into a guild. The 2 separate teams make their way onto the same island and will eventually run into each other. Along the line, both teams have different missions that they must do. And Nothing But Dice is a small budget podcast that wants to share their love for D&D with the world. They may be rough, but the road for the players is even rougher. So join them and be part of their campaign and either help the DM or help the players. You can find them at link.tree/nothingbutdice. That's linktr.ee/nothingbutdice, or on Twitter at nothingbutdice. And of course, you can find anything and everything on A Tale of D20s, from the Nat ones to Descent into the Void and much other things, at our website on ataleofd20s.com. So, without further ado, let's remove the bookmark and continue our epic tale. Last time, Liberators, you faced off against Dark Ren, the former stone demon dancer captain who was taken captive by Doramo and turned to the side of chaos. Through the power of your vagaries combined and friendship, you banished the dark energy from her, releasing her from the hold that the dark drow had upon her. Now free, she revealed that Doramo always had a backup plan. If Horatio did not give him the shard for the Corporus. A founding family member of the Corporus could also obtain it, and the Sunfells were one of them. He had planned to take over Judean to retrieve the shard. With that, you all used Horatio's gate entry to the Corporus and ran in to stop Doramo. You entered the empty halls and found Doramo and the Valkyrie warband in a secret chamber filled with magic runes and arcane energy. There, Judean, under the control of Doramo, began retrieving the shard from a bright purple energy floating in the back of the chamber. Doramo warned that the room was sealed with a volatile magic, and any use of magic could set it off and make a cataclysmic explosion. Here, he revealed himself to be Erebus, the god in mortal form, and was also the progenitor of the Corporus itself, as was created by him and his allies Atreus, Gaia, and Eros. He revealed his dastardly plan to want to come back to godhood and warp reality by bringing the abyss to the surface. And to do so, he needed the pieces of the shard to create a weapon that would create this magical entity. He wanted Horatio to stand by his side, as his mother did once long ago. And he also revealed that Hallister had his own plan put in motion, and they were locked in a race to see who would complete their evil plan first. With Judean quickly about to grab the shard, Monako released a power word stun from Mawan, and Horatio fired a witch bolt which set off an explosion that destroyed the entirety of Castle Corporus. In that flash, Cal overbursted, accelerating himself as time slowed down around him. He grabbed Judean in the shard and then traveled through some space-time wormhole, ending up somewhere floating in space. There he arrived at a golden door, which the mortal key was able to unlock, and entered forth. Monako grabbed Horatio, encasing them in a tomb of ice, and they were blasted to an unknown shore, defrosting as they came upon the sand. And Duran and King combined their efforts using Heaven's Dew and teleportation magic, and ended up under a night sky in an unknown place. So, Liberators, you are separated, unknown what had happened to you. We will start off with lightning shuddering into the sky, cracking, as the dust-lit sky seems to be darker, denser in color, more red and purple in hue. Screams could be heard off into the distance as creatures are running amok all around the entirety of what seems to be a dark shadow version of Thelos. Coughing, Monaco, Horatio, you blink your eyes. Horatio, you're frozen shut as you were encased in this tomb, and the sheer energy within you seems to be altered and changed. Monaco, you are yourself once again.
Oh.
Are you alright, Monaco?
I feel terrible. Horatio, I can't believe you did that.
It didn't seem like I had another choice. I couldn't let him get another shard.
You said that we look like we're in a version of Thelos. It's night, DM?
No, it's dusk, but it looks dusk, but more of like a more darker dusk, you can say. The sky is normally like an orangey color, the color of sunset of normal dusk, but now it's more red and purple with lightning crackling in the sky. But you can look around and just piecing together, it seems like you're still in Duskhaven. Maybe not Thelos, I should say. You can see that you're in Duskhaven.
And around us?
Right now you are up against the shore of a lake. It seems you are washed upon the sandy beach. There are trees off into the distance, and you definitely see and hear creatures running amok, though none of them have paid you any mind at this point.
Horatio will immediately try to look through Hootie's eyes to see if he can.
All right. As you go to try to reach through Hootie, you don't feel any connection whatsoever. You kind of buckle over, and Monaco, you see this as Horatio buckles over in pain, as you feel a surge go through your body. You trying to release the power of Hootie, and even trying to contact that spell energy that you used to summon him doesn't seem to work.
I can't get it. I can't connect to Hootie.
Okay, just stop, relax. It's okay, we're okay, just...
Horatio's kind of holding his stomach and leaning on his staff and tries to help Monaco up if she's not standing up.
Monaco is, she stands up and goes over to him immediately, trying to help him stand up a little bit.
I don't know where we are, Monaco.
Look, do you have any dew?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me check. And I have a water skin with 2 uses only, which has been used twice only of Heaven's Dew.
We don't have a symphony, and I can hear them in the distance. We don't have long. And she will start to stone dance, attempting to pull any kind of crystals around, or trying to summon up some sort of crystal that we could infuse with the dew.
Okay. You begin to stone dance and walk around. Roll me a performance check. That was perception. One more time.
A 4 plus 5 for a total of 9.
9. Okay. You begin dancing around and moving and unlocking your vagary to pull this out, but something seems off. You don't feel any crystals underneath your feet. Your power to connect with this earth, this ground, doesn't seem to come upon you as it did before when you stone danced not too long ago. Everything seems, you at least feel this with your connection with the stones, with the ground beneath your feet, that's just soil. This area just does not feel right. This isn't the Duskhaven you remembered.
Something's wrong. I don't know. Look at that sky.
Yeah, it looks different.
As you all look up at the sky, when the lightning crackles, you see off into the distance a long wyvern-like body. It doesn't seem to be coming towards you, but it is flying in the sky. This type of beast in size and grandeur and just demonic energy from where you are is something you've never seen before. And then as one appears in the shadows through the crackle of the lightning in the clouds, more appear until you see what seems to be some type of makeshift battle between these long dragon-like figures off into the clouds high up above.
I think we need to find some shelter and rest. I don't have the means to defend us if we were to be attacked.
Eudrin, are you here? And she will attempt to summon her familiar.
So as you try to reach out to Eudrin, you don't get any of that same sensation that Horatio did when you try to lock onto your find familiar. But nevertheless, although you're not in pain, there's no connection to you and Eudrin.
All right. Nyx. All right. We should find some shelter here, right? And she'll go over to Horatio and kind of put one of his arms over her shoulder and attempt to help him walk in any direction that looks like it's safer than here.
Okay. Horatio, you feel horrible as you're more and more you're acclimating to just being awake and outside of the ice block in the strange place. You just start to feel worse and worse. And you will suffer from the effects of being poisoned after what happened to you in the Corpus Arcana, especially being in your Archon mode. You've definitely fluctuated and affected your magical energies.
We should probably find a cave or something. And Horatio will start maybe taking a look to see if there's anywhere that we can get shelter.
All right. Go ahead and roll me, whoever's looking, roll me a survival check.
Minako will help and look as well.
Okay. You can roll me a survival at advantage as Horatio is aiding you, even though he's not doing much on his own.
An 18?
An 18, not bad. Okay. So, as you look around for shelter, you see you guys walk around for about an hour, and you're trying your best to keep Horatio up as he's definitely slowing you down. But nevertheless, going through the trees and definitely dodging all the strange demonic yips and howls that you hear. Doesn't seem anything's paying you any mind. They're all going their way, luckily. But just being yourselves and the adventurers that you are, with your high survival, you're even able to duck in and hide as creatures walk amongst. But nevertheless, in the distance, you do see what seems to be the lighting of a small village, light shining off into the distance.
There, not so far. Come on. Do you need a rest?
I think I can make it there. Let's continue.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll keep walking.
All right. So you continue walking down there. It takes you about another couple hours. Horatio slowing down every so often to catch his breath, but eventually you do make it to the outskirts of the town. There you see there's a wooden fence around it, a wooden perimeter of gate, and at the actual doorway, which seems to reach about 30 feet so high, there are two guards standing there with spears. The first thing that you all catch is that their garments and their weaponry looks very archaic in nature and old. You haven't seen anything like this, maybe in museums and in relics. And then the garbs that they're using are very clothy with what's the word I'm looking for? Rustic looking, like the metal looks cheap and not well refined. But as they notice you putting their spears forward, with their spears forward, looking down at you, they go, "Halt! State your business."
We need shelter for the night. We come in peace.
A light shines onto you. It's not very dark at this point, but and they kind of look at you. "Who are you, strangers? Why are you dressed so weird?"
We're not sure what happened to us. My name is Horatio.
Horatio. And then the other guard goes, "Just let them in before they attract the demons." "All right." And the gate raises up. "Hurry in, quickly."
Horatio begins to kind of wobble forward.
Assist.
Okay. So you usher him in and assist, and the gate slams behind you as you enter in there. Now you can see the entirety of the town. It's not very big, similar to the size of Goldgrass Ranch from when you guys were there, although the architecture looks out of this world. There are more stone shape and made out of materials that seem to be very, very ancient. And people are walking around wearing strange cloth-like toga outfits. A lot of them are dirty, and a lot of people are kind of poking out of like their doorways and other places and looking at you as you appear. And they seem to be very fearful of your entry. Nevertheless, coming down the two guard posts are the guards one of the guards, the other one staying up to greet you.
Would Minako recognize any of this? I mean, maybe not from her experiences, but maybe from books or history lessons?
Yes, the same goes for Horatio.
Yeah, you both can roll me a history check.
An 11.
11.
15.
15, okay. Minako, this This place, look, it's like what they're wearing. It's like you've read about it, possibly of people wearing these garments long ago. And like the weaponry that they use, you could tell. Like this looks like a spear made. You don't even know how long ago. No one uses that type of craftsmanship anymore, or those oars. Horatio, with your 15, even though you're feeling ill, you can tell everything looks. You've read a lot of books, and you have read on some books and some information in from your studies back on the surface. Just by looking at it, you could tell this is very old and ancient craftsmanship and work. So you could tell definitely these people are not of where you came from.
Are they all humans?
Yes, they are all human. And at Monaco, specifically, so now that they're getting closer to you and they're coming up, the guard with his with his spear looks at you and goes, "Oh, you're one of the devils from the north. What are you doing here?" And now he's actually getting aggressive with you.
She's no devil. She's a friend of mine. Please. We just need shelter for the night.
We mean you no harm. I
Roll me a persuasion check, Horatio.
Natural 1 or a total of 2.
The guard looks over to you, still looking guarded, and says, "No, I don't trust their kind. For all we know, they're the reason these demons are running amok, cursing us every day. Oh, and then the gods have forsaken us. Where are they? You are just a blight."
What? I can assure you, we mean no harm.
please, the demons are, they're everybody's enemies. I just need to help my friend here.
He looks over and kind of spits on the ground. "I'm fine. You will be watched and guarded. I don't know who you are and why you come all the way down from your northern fortresses, but I will not let a human die. He does not look well. You should go to the inn. They have medics there.
Thank you.
I suggest you hide your horns," he says, looking over at you, Monaco.
Oh, and she will tear a bit of her ball gown that she's still wearing, at the base of, and make sort of just get a sheet of cloth, like a little bit, and kind of put it over her head like a shawl.
Okay, you're able to. Your beautiful, your clothes have been torn from the explosions anyway, but taking the remaining pieces at the bottom, you rip it up, hiding your horns, and roll me a deception check.
13.
13. All right. You're able to hide your horns pretty well as you go in there, and going in. Although you're still dressed and you're solely conspicuous, but nevertheless, the one guard looks up at the other guard and calls him down. And he turns to him. "Watch them. Take them to the inn and let the Lord know. We have a tiefling visitor with a human." Right. All right. Come on, you two. Follow me.
Thank you for your hospitality.
You guys begin walking down the path. People kind of looking through their gates and their windows and hiding in there. Children peeking, and their parents are like, "No, don't look." And everyone who seems to have been in the streets have fled into their rooms as the one guard is leading you in what seems to be the center of the city. Definitely everything looks ancient and old in nature. Like there are stone statues, and things are made of more like rock than metal or other things, or brick and wood like you've seen in today's in your normal Duskhaven city. But nevertheless, you all walk to this large building. So ahead of you, you do see what looks to be, as they describe as an inn. The inn is large and about 3 stories tall and extremely wide, going from one side of the street to the other. You see that there are lots of people walking in here, and from the distance that you're all at, you can hear the moans and cries of people in pain or just normal chatter. The guard goes, Go on. Sign yourselves in on the quill, using the quill and parchment, and you will be seen as soon as they are able. If you want food and drink, just ask one of the barkeeps, and like he said, keep your horns to yourself.
Thank you again for taking us in. She'll look away.
Like we said, we'll never turn out a human who is in need of help.
Thank you.
He opens, so you guys finally walk up towards the door, and there's a little bit of a line, but it's quick. They see Horatio looking weak and coughing, so they try not to keep and make any eye contact. But eventually, the doors open up, and you are pushed into this very crowded inn. There is a bar over ahead of you. There are many seats and tables towards the left, and a staircase going up to the other floors to the right. The craftsmanship looks very old indeed. I mean, looks decent enough, but just the style looks very old indeed. But nevertheless, and you see everyone dressed 100% differently from you. So you guys definitely stand out on when you do there. Horatio, roll me a perception check. Actually, both of you can roll me a perception check.
And 8.
Oh, 4.
All right, 8 and 4. You guys kind of remain there, looking around, just peeping out. You can see there are a bunch of humans who are there. You do actually glimpse a couple of elves who happen to be there as well, which is something you've never seen before in all of Duskhaven. But mostly the group is humans and with a few elves and a couple dwarves here and there. But the elves is the most striking part. Other than that, you don't notice anything else. The line continues to go further and further as you stand in there. The guards directly behind you, pushing you to continue until you get up towards the head of the line, where you see there is a gentleman wearing an all-white toga with a small gold crown, circlet on his head, carrying a quill with a parchment in his hand, and says, "What is your ailment and need?"
I believe I might be poisoned. I'm not sure. And I just need some rest. Maybe an antidote.
Oh dear, whatever are you wearing? And no matter, line is long. Give me your names, and we will get a nurse to help you as soon as we can.
I am Horatio Dularian Kane, and this is Minako.
Horatio Dularian Kane, Minako. Strange name indeed. Sounds almost like Shiverin, he says, glaring at you.
Almost.
Right. It's a strange name indeed. But no matter. He continues writing your name down. Go have a seat. Next.
Minako will attempt to use the ring of sending, the earring, to communicate with Horatio. She says, "This place, I've read about these things. I've seen pictures. I don't think we're home anymore."
I don't think so either. I can't. It seems very ancient. We definitely stand out.
We'll have to disguise ourselves better after this. Hopefully they can fix whatever's wrong with you. We can get some privacy.
Yeah.
You two make your way towards an empty table. There aren't much tables that are free. Catching the first one you see, you sit down, and Horatio flopping down, finally able to rest your feet. As you kind of look around and wait for someone to aid you, Horatio, you hear, just with your passive perception, and something kind of catches your ear. A voice you hear, and it's kind of nostalgic. You kind of move your head and turn and look at it. Sitting about a table away from you are three people kind of sitting at a table. The one thing that catches your eyes, you see that there is an elven gentleman wearing the same type of toga, a half elf, and what looks to be a human woman. And she continues talking towards them. She goes, "Are you sure?" And then this voice, and then when you hear her talk, you kind of perk up. And then this other voice, here it comes, and then you definitely stand up and you hear, "I am sure that this is where we need to go to find it. Now keep your voice down. I don't want other people to find out where we're heading. It's too dangerous, Gaia." And you poke up and looking over, and sitting next to you see in your memory, just with your keen mind, you flash back, recalling these three faces of Eros, Erebus, and Gaia as they all sit at a table, chatting to themselves. Meanwhile, underneath a night sky, stars are twinkling up as you blink your eyes and awaken from a strange headache, or your head spinning. Your bodies feel achy as you look up, holding to one another, inside some type of forest, surrounded by what looks to be the sigil of Myliki onto the ground, where your two of you have landed. King and Duran, you awaken.
Oh, are you all right?
Is everyone okay?
I'll lean up, blink my eyes, and look around. I don't see anyone.
Did we stop him?
I don't know. It felt like a tense moment, and I saw Horatio throw the spell, and I just reacted. I knew that we had to get out of there. I don't know what happened after that. Everything happened so quickly.
Are we like completely? Are we like even? Are we able to move? Or are we just like completely physically exhausted and also?
I mean, you didn't get any of your. You did not suffer from You did not get any benefit from a long rest. So you're how you were before, but you're not like how Horatio was, where you're just like in pain or poison or something like that. You're just your normal selves.
Are we in the Dust District? I'll stand and look up and see if I see any of like the sigils or like the ground or the space that was the sanctuary we were at. Like, does that look familiar? And as I look around, I'll say, "Where are we?"
All right, roll me a perception check.
3.
Duran, you can roll a perception check.
I also want to roll a perception check, but Duran is looking for Horatio, Monaco, and Cal. A 9.
You have no idea where you are, King, and Duran, you don't see any of your allies around. Nothing points out. You guys are pretty much walking in night, not duskly night, just pure night.
I guess I'll point that out now, and I'll say to Duran, also, it's dark. It is nighttime. Where are we? Are we still even in Duskhaven? Oh.
I will also say that there are no stars. I'm sorry.
Just a pitch black.
Cut that out. There are no. It's just like a normal night sky, pitch sky. Yeah.
I do not know. I'm going to try to communicate through the ring, through the earring. Duran tries to reach out to Horatio to the bar sending.
All right. You try to reach out, connecting with your magical earrings, and you all just feel a bzzz. Well, what to say? Duran, you just feel a buzzing, almost makes you want to rip out the bar of sending as it zips in your ear, but immediately it stops, and then you kind of like pat at your ear, whacking it a few times.
There's something wrong with the earring.
Don't use it again, then.
Duran like shows you his ear to get a better look at it to see if you see anything with it.
Does anything look off?
No.
Does he look like he burned himself? I'm trained in medicine.
No, you can just know me. It doesn't seem nothing externally happened to him, no.
No, it looks all right. Looks perfectly normal. Do you think something happened to them? Should we try and communicate? And I'm going to, without even letting him try, I'll try and send him a message. Like, can you hear me?
As you do so, the same zapping sensation comes upon you.
Ah, don't do it! Don't do it! It hurts just trying to talk to you two. I am so tired and almost completely spent. I only see forest around us. We should try and find shelter for the time being.
Then let us do this. Duran reaches into his pack, and if it's still there, he pulls out. He hesitates. He thinks back on Horatio, and then he pulls it out. He pulls out his seeker compass.
Do we have it though? Because we were at the gala, and I wasn't carrying my backpack.
Duran carried his pack with him. Mm-hmm.
You did? Okay. I'll look at it.
Okay, so Duran has it. All right. So Duran, you whip out your secret compass and looking at it, and it looks to be pointing. It kind of spins around for a second, and then it points northwest.
I'm actually want to roll back just a half second. When you pull it out of your pack, I'm gonna give you a big kiss on the lips and be like, "You're so smart!" And then take a look at it and be like, "This is perfect."
I would have asked Wizard Horatio to do it, but I do not know where he is.
Okay. I can fly us there. I think that will be the best thing. Caliburn, to me, and I'll get on it like I normally do and offer my Stella a seat.
You go to activate Caliburn, and you begin to raise it up. When you do so, you feel a pain in your chest. Looking down at it, you see that there's a light shining through your shirt. Since it's like so dark here, even though you both have dark vision, both of you can see the light shining down at this point. realizing, looking in your chest, King, that the tear that was there, that was growing, has reached all the way down to like to the bottom of your stomach. What am I saying? To the bottom of your sternum. Whereas we're just like more of like a knife slice, like a stab. It's more like a jagged cut going down with more light shining out. Trying to lift Caliburn as well, it wobbles back and forth and it like shakes and almost buckles, as if you don't have a clear grasp on it.
Okay, like I can't fly with it. Okay. I'll grasp my chest and say, "It hurts. I can't lift us."
Duran will grab and kind of carry King's weight and let him fall into his arms a bit and support him.
I'm sorry, my love.
We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
We'll have to trek on foot.
Is that roll that you rolled before the roll?
Yeah.
So, after using all of your abilities, rolling your d4s, 21 more years are wiped off of Duran's elvish life.
Add that to my notes.
So that brings you to 39.
Yep, that matches my records.
Okay. You kind of both look at each other, knowing what this means, knowing that King's use of magic has accelerated the growth of his age.
Duran is more worried about the growing wound in his chest.
I just sort of lay in his arms and just like, I feel like I'm trying to silently weep, but I'm clearly like making noise as I'm just sad and upset as he carries me, as I'm now too weak to walk towards the Seekers. I'll just hold the compass and point in the direction we need to go as I silently cry in his chest.
We'll all be okay.
You both begin walking throughout this forest that you're in, and as you rolled a low perception check, you didn't notice that creeping up behind you, ever following you, was a figure. At this point, the figure has walked up directly behind you, and that is when you get the cold chill going down your back, feeling it. Quickly turning around, you look down, you look forward, not seeing anyone, and look down a little bit, or at least you, Duran, and see that a old woman stands before you. You are alive, the two of you. I can't believe it. I have prayed, and here you have come.
Where are we?
I reach for my blade. Do I have Firethorn with me too?
Yes, you pull out Firethorn.
Who are you?
She stands there with her hands up and she smiles. I'm oh, Duran, protector of the king to be crowned. It is I, the one who bonded your Stellas. It is I, the envoy of the elves here in Duskhaven. Thariel, oh, the years it has been since I last gazed upon your face.
And what is with this form you take?
I don't know if you've noticed, but magic is not the same it was before. Unfortunately, after the great battle of Thelos, the throne was taken over, the ley lines open, darkness came, and in the months that followed, he, Lord of Shiverin, and now overruler of all of Duskhaven, sits on the throne. He has warped magic, and chaos is running amok, bringing forth the eternal night. We have lost, king to be crowned. We have lost.
What has transpired?
Come with me. There's so little of us left, but it will warm their hearts to see that the queen has returned.
Oh my god. Oh my Nyx. What has happened? Marliki, where are you? This world is forsaken. Yes, please. We cannot give up. We were in... No. I guess we can't discuss it here. Please take us somewhere safe, Sariel.
Yes, please. Follow me. And she walks off into the forest, slowly, and you follow her in tow as she leads and weaves throughout the branches, and stepping for until eventually, after about 15 minutes of walking, you see that she goes to a large oak tree. Seems like there's a huge gap inside the trunk. And she goes down and places her hand onto the ground and brings up dirt and begins crushing it as the dust begins to flow down her hands until the last bit drops. And as she does, the hole begins to glow. And peering through it, you can see it looks to be a small grotto. You hear the sounds of children, of people just talking and muttering. And she turns to you. Come, welcome to the Resistance. And she walks off into the white gate-like entryway to the tree. and you two follow her in. Meanwhile, as a blinding light completely encompasses you, Cal, as you step through the doors that you have unlocked using the numbers located onto your revolvers. Everything shines, blinding you. You cover your eyes until finally, after a large swooshing sound, you are brought into a strange place. Birds can be heard chirping into the air as they begin to flutter around. It is bright light, like even brighter than the brightest day you've ever seen. Though your eyes slowly adjust to the area. There is a large staircase leading on top what seems to be a floating island. Not too dissimilar to the Corpus Arcana island, but definitely a lot more regal and beautiful. The first thing that catches your eye are the trees, the plants, and off into the distance, the structures. There are pillars and other types of architecture structures are made out of crystal. The familiar crystal that looks, I'll just say they're just all these glittering crystals. As you step forward, holding Judean Sunfell, who just seems still frozen in place, not moving. He doesn't seem to weigh anything, and you're carrying him as if he's on a levitation spell, and still holding onto him. But you see just ahead of you, it looks to be some type of archway where there are two strangely dressed, short gnome figures just standing there. They don't seem to pay notice to you at this time.
I walk up to them and hello.
Are you still carrying Judean?
Yeah, I want to kind of lift him up over my shoulder.
Okay, it's very easy to do.
And then carry him that way.
Okay. So go ahead and grab, and you walk up. As soon as you walk up, these two gnomes, and they look like twins, exactly like. One's wearing just black. All black toga, and one's wearing an all white toga, but it's garbed with golden etchings all into it. Their boots are sandals that have gold all etched into it as well, with what seems to be tiny wings embedded on the side of each one. They're wearing this very ornate circlet around their head and bracers that glitter and shine, even just as bright as the crystals that are all around the structures that they're standing in front of. They kind of walk up, smashing their hands together, and the one in all black goes, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? Intruder! We have an intruder!"
No, wait. I'm not an intruder. I was sent here. I don't even know where here is.
A likely story! Likely story. Do you hear this? And he turns on over to the white toga gnome. And he goes, Yeah, I hear. Well met. Where'd you come from?
I came through a portal. That's the best I can explain right now. But where am I? That might help me orient and figure out what's happened.
They look on and over each other, and they get really close to you at this fact, and they stare at Judean, they stare at you, and they're down at your ankles. But they look extremely buff, and they do have a strange glimmer to them, but they kind of huddle together right in front of you with their hand here. Okay, fine. Well, the one in the black garb says, I don't know how you got here, but you're in Eustacia. You know, in the astral plane. I mean, if you got here, you must have been traveling through the astral sea.
That does explain that. Yes.
But once again, tell me, how did you get in? You can't just make a portal here. You can only go through the doorway, and it's locked, and we're here guarding it, right? Isn't that right, Anacetus? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, Alexarius.
Well, my name is Cal, and I am the mortal key of Kalembor.
What? Both of them look extremely shocked. They go huddle again and start chatting for about an awkward minute, and then they come back up again. Oh, okay. Well, that explains how you got in. Well, like my brother said, I'm Alex Ares, and he's Anacetus. We are the guardians of Eustacia, the palace of the gods. We are sons of Heracles, charged here to make sure no intruders get through the gate that was closed by Kalembor. Yet, here you stand, the mortal key. I think we should take him to her. Well, you sure? Yeah, I'm sure.
Who are you talking about?
It's Anacetus, just stay here and guard. Make sure no one else comes through. The doorway's unlocked. Come with me. You're gonna see Nyx. And he goes ahead and like pulls onto you, and the sheer strength of his pull, you can't even defend against it. He just yanks you. You don't fall over, but you're just pulled along with him as he starts to move. This small gnome creature or person.
And I quickly just follow in that direction enough that they can let go of me, and I won't stop.
Okay. So Anacetus stays there, and Alexiaries continues moving through, and you walk up the staircase, passing through the crystal archway. You step in there, and then it's almost as if things like the atmosphere shifts, and you're brought to a beautiful oasis. Clouds floating on as you see several people hopping through them. There are trees growing out of groves, surrounded by these crystalline structures. Crystal water shining like sapphire flows all around, as there's a waterfall of this glittering water flowing down. It touches one of the crystals, and the crystal lights up glowing, and a wave of pure energy wafts over you and everyone in the area. And then you see everyone kind of stop for a moment, put their heads up, and just bask for a moment before continuing on their merriment, as well as other things. There are doorways that people enter into, and people carrying scrolls and papyruses and all other types of things as they continue to make their going around their way. And it's just massive and huge, farther than your eyes can see. But Ares continues leading you past all this. Eventually, he walks into one of the side groves. There are grapes and other fruits growing on the branches, and he stops, turns around, and says, "Don't touch the food! Gods only!" And he continues walking ahead into this grove.
I continue to follow, although I do want to try the food.
Okay. Holding back your urge to try the food, you continue to follow until you make it to a staircase that goes down further into what seems to be the ground. You follow him down this staircase as you go bit by bit, and the light starts to fade away, but torches light up as you enter, as the day sky goes away to just the darkness of this depths that you're walking down. Eventually, the spiraling stone staircase ends, and you're met into a tight corridor with a beautiful black doorway with a golden shiny star-like handle that he touches. When he does, it begins to sizzle, and you hear the sound go onto it. And he's like, "Ah, God damn it!" And he finally turns the handle, and then he goes like, "Ah!" and shakes his hand and then starts to blow on it. Sorry, security manager. And the door opens up. Inside of the door, you're brought into a square, a room where the walls are made completely out of crystal. Everything is dark, and if it wasn't for your night vision, you would not be able to see anything in there. But you do see that there is a woman garbed in a beautiful black dress. Her skin is a dark night-like purple, and her hair is short. She seems to be shackled, chained to some type of stone tablet around her left ankle, and she turns around, revealing her face and her beautiful star-like eyes, and she goes, "How can I help you?" And Alexiaries steps up and says, "Nyx, I didn't know who else to turn to. It was either you or Helm, and we know Helm likes to chop heads off before talking, so I thought that you would know more about this. He claims to be the mortal key." And she kind of stands herself up and looks over. The mortal key? Here. But how's this? Thank you, Alexiaries. Please go back and guard the gates. Make sure no one else can enter in if he entered through the doorway to Eustacia. Will do.
As he is about to leave, can I hand him Judean, still frozen, and have him keep guard over him at where they're near the gate area, so that way it's not like Judean is really potentially hearing my conversation with Nyx?
He looks on over to you and goes, I was wondering about that. Sure, give him to me. And he goes and holds out his hands.
I pass him over.
Goes ahead and grabs and says, "Well, this one doesn't eat a lot, does he? He practically wastes nothing." "All right." And he walks on out of the doorway, closing it up again. You hear a locking sound, like a choof, and the sound of a whoom, as if an enchantment is being placed on before the door, until after the doors close and he walks out. Footsteps can be heard off into the distance, him leaving this area.
I approach Nyx, give a bow, and say, "My Lady Nyx, it's a pleasure to meet you."
I wish I could say the same. You shouldn't have opened the door, Mortal Key.
I didn't mean to do it on purpose. I mean, things are not well in Thelos and in Duskhaven. Things are greatly out of order, and to prevent Duramo, who I'm very confident now is Erebus, into completely destroying the plane.
Oh, my dear Mortal Key.
In the process of leaving, I kind of tore a hole into the astral sea, and the doorway was the only thing to go to.
She looks over to you, holding her hand up, stopping you as you begin to speak, and says, "Say no more. Dance for me. It is through my will, my power, that the tieflings of Duskhaven have achieved the power of the vagary. Through your vagary, I can see what has transpired. Please, dance for me."
I look at her and abruptly turn away, taking several steps until I make an about turn very sharply and begin doing my warlike dance.
Okay, roll me a performance check.
16?
16. Nice. So you go ahead
Not
and
the worst.
you go ahead and start your dance, moving in the fashion of activating your vagary. As you move in those sharp movements, the lightning crackles around you, and Nyx begins to hum. And the soothingness of her humming is like a melody towards your dance, and you create a performance that with the sounds of a goddess, with the moves of a storm dancer. And as this raging storm begins to flow around as you continue to move, her humming and your steps, an image begins to appear in a thunder cloud within this small cube room. Flashes of the images of the pain that you went through, of the battle that you went through, your experiences flutter onto the screen, onto the image. Nyx begins to hum louder and louder, and you begin to dance more and more. All the events that transpired appearing, bearing your soul to her, until finally you stop, and she goes, "Due to my imprisonment, I'm unable to view all that happens to my children. I'm so sorry you have to go through this. Though your destiny is tied to that of us gods, created by the Prolepsi Kalimvor. It seems things are in motion. There's much you need to know, Cal."
Well, I'm here. What do I need to do? To save Frostmourne, to save Thelos. All of Duskhaven needs this.
She turns and looks to her left, looks to her right. "Come here, Cal. I need you to do me a favor. There's some place we must go, something you must witness for your own eyes. But alas, due to my transgressions, you'll find out shortly. I am unfortunately captive here, only able to reach out to my most devout followers. Please, use the power of the Mortal Key to unlock my bindings, and you will learn everything you need to know, what has happened and what will come." What would you like to do? She stands there just with her arms out, waiting for a response.
What is Nyx's alignment?
You know, because tieflings generally would worship Nyx.
Yeah.
That she is a neutral good god.
Okay, this is more of a like, what is this information that I would know as a tiefling from Shiverin about Nyx specifically because of, the cultural norms of worshiping Nyx? Just like, is there anything I would know to help guide me in this decision to jailbreak Nyx?
I mean,
because I'm leaning towards it right now.
The choice is yours. What you do know of Nyx, so you know Nyx is like the patron god of the tieflings. According to history, she cast upon her magic the Veil of Night upon the tieflings, giving them the power to unlock a power that's in all beings of the mortal realm, and that's the power of the vagary. So there was a connection between the tieflings and the Nyx. Whether she created them although the tieflings do come from infernal standings, but night exists, can exist everywhere and is an ever-veiling blanket. Though past that, no one knows. But tieflings are appreciative of her for what they've done, and as you know, they protect the blanket of Nyx, as you all call it, protects all of Shiverin.
Okay.
That's about all like the lore you would know. I don't know if that helps your decision or not.
That definitely does, and I think that's enough information to guide this decision. I look at Nyx, and can I roll an insight check just to see the expression that, like, and how earnest?
Sure. Goddess insight check.
Got it. Yeah, it's my +1. That's a 6.
Mm.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I look away and down at the chains that are holding her captive. As the arms of the scale shift, they stay in one direction for an amount of time, and as in all things, they change like the tides. The magic revolver that I have begins to glow white as I channel my divine energy as the mortal key to unlock the bindings on Nyx.
All right. In doing so, the bindings begins to heat up, and in a moment's notice, it begins to glow with a white-hot intensity until finally it snaps into two perfectly, falling down to the ground. And she goes, thank you, Calamity Morgal. Many tax you to do that one more time. The doorway is also spelled, but you should be able to do that as well.
First, how are we going to help Frostmore and Shiverin and Thelos? I need to know.
Through knowledge, we must know what transpired and what will transpire. We will have to visit my children. They'll be able to explain your fate, what happened in the past, and what will come. The more I must go to them. There's a cost, knowing knowledge, but that must be something that you're willing to pay, or else all will be lost.
If it will save my kingdom and my friends, then it is not a question. And I activate the unlocking abilities of the mortal key again.
All right. In doing so, and the same effect happens towards the door, but instead the door opens up slowly, sliding to the side, revealing, and then as it does so, Nyx lifts her head up and takes a deep breath. All right, I will cover you with my blanket. We must be unseen, or else bring the wrath of the gods themselves upon us. Come, we must go to Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos. Quickly. And she takes her long, flowing silk-like dress, lifts it up, and kind of covers you and her with it. In doing so, you are blanketed by this see-through silk garment and are held close and tight towards her. And there is a warmth from her, but unlike any you've ever felt before. It's like a vast warmth that stretches out throughout further than you can even imagine. Almost a limitless amount of warmth coming from her. And you both begin to walk up the staircase, reaching the top. The light, she kind of raises her head up from the shining of the brightness, as if she hasn't been in this bright light for such a long time, fixes herself, and then continues to usher you deeper into the forest.
And I follow without hesitation.
All right. So, peering next to the visage of your mother, Horatio, you look over and you don't feel well. You can roll a perception check if you want to listen in on them, but at this point they've quieted down as they started talking, as they noticed that they were getting a little bit too loud.
9.
9. You can barely make out their whispers, and they definitely seem edgy. Looking back and forth, you see the dark tan skin of your mother with her frizzy, wavy hair that looks wild at first, but is very well kept, and there's just a shocking beauty to her. You're in awe witnessing this image of your mother before you.
And this is, well before I'm even a thought. So Horatio's kind of, and over the bracelet of sending, he'll say to Manako, "Don't make it obvious, but I think that to our left, or my left, is Gaia, Erebus, and Eros."
Oh, Nyx. This is not by chance.
This doesn't make any sense. we might be in Igbrio. I'm not sure. And I just wait for healthcare at this point. Since I could barely hear it, I don't want to approach them yet because I don't know what that might do for the timeline.
So after waiting for about another 10 minutes or so, you see that they get drinks and they're like, "Thank you." You hear Gaia say as they begin eating and talking as well. Eventually, another person dressed similar to the gentleman who had took your information walks on over with their flowing toga, and this looks to be a human woman, with fair skin and long blonde hair, and she says, "You seem to be in need of aid. I am a cleric assigned to assist you. In what have you been inflicted by the demons?"
I don't know if this was the demon's work, but I feel like I'm poisoned.
Poisoned. All right. Hold on one moment. I will begin to analyze your ailment. And he goes ahead and begins casting a somatic spell and moving her hands and chanting. And then one thing, since you are a esteemed wizard and you just have your keen mind, you notice whatever somatic symbol that she's using and the words that she's saying are completely out of this world. Or let me rephrase that. You recognize them, but then you're thinking to yourself, why is she moving her hands in a half moon shape? A quarter would suffice if you replace it with another motion, and she's being very inefficient in the way that she is doing it. But she then goes ahead and touches you, and a wave of magic, powerful magic, comes across you. Ooh, this is odd. Your entire arcane structure, it's out of whack. I've never seen something like this. I can appease the pain you must be going through, but I'm so sorry. This is beyond my capabilities. Were you cursed? No, what happened to you?
I'm not entirely sure. And as he's answering her, he keeps kind of looking over towards Gaia.
Roll me a d6.
A 4.
4. As you turn around and look over and she's talking to you, you keep looking over at Gaia. In that moment, the two of you lock eyes. And time seems to slow down, and she kind of twists her head in bewilderment looking at you. And as she's about to get up and kind of like get closer to you, standing up, Erebus goes, "We must leave. We have to convene with the others. I'm worried about Nyx." Oh, right. All right, come, Eros, let's go. And she breaks her gaze with you and begins walking out.
Did you hear? Minako looks after them, but then she seems more concerned for Horatio's health.
At this point, the cleric finishes and he goes, and then when she finishes, you feel better. The glowing subsides. Her magic was painful, and you never felt anything like it. Nor that this means of inefficient casting, but nevertheless, it seems to have done something. You are no longer poisoned, though your magic definitely still feels off. At least you don't have that poisoned effect onto you, and you're able to maintain the pain. And she goes, "I was only able to, the most I can do was just use superior restoration on you. I have no idea how to fix what happened to you. Please, I will convene with the High Cleric. Maybe there's something we can do. Please stay in one of our rooms, and for the night. And tomorrow, he can find out what truly happened."
Thank you. You've actually done a great help. I no longer feel poisoned.
Yes. Please, once you when you're ready, please go back up to the gentleman who signed you in. I'll let him know that I am admitting you into one of our rooms, and he'll give you the room, and I'll find you next time.
Thank you.
Oh, my name is Adele, by the way.
Horatio.
It's a pleasure. And your friend here, do you need aid as well?
No, thank you. You've been of great service to us.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. All right, more people to heal. And she heads off.
I wish I had the resources I want to follow Gaia.
Well,
I don't even know if I have control of my arcane magics at the moment.
Then you'll have to do without. Horatio, this is too important. Can you move?
I think I can manage now.
We'll look around. Where did they leave?
They're on their way out. You still see them. You can probably catch them if you want, but they are about to leave.
All right. Let's go.
All right, so where are you guys heading?
We're keeping some distance from them, but we're attempting to tail them to a degree, right?
Yeah.
All right, roll me some stealth checks.
Did you remove the poison effect?
Yes, I did.
23 with a natural 20.
All right.
A
so-
14.
Very nice. So the two of you follow a good distance away from the three adventurers, and you make sure to keep your distance. And you are well hidden. I'm going to roll perception checks for them. Nope. All right. As you begin walking down, the sun begins to set. You spend some time in here, and you notice, although the sky looks extremely ominous with this lightning, you do notice now that the passage of time seems to be affecting this place. Duskhaven, Igbriel, you're not sure, but it does definitely seem the passage of time is going on, and as the sun begins to set, stars start to begin to twinkle into the sky, albeit in most places the sky is covered by this weird black cloud energy where the lightning is striking in like the many shadows of creatures in its midst showing throughout it. But
There's a sun?
yeah, there was a sun. There's a moon rising up as well.
Minako will shield her eyes somewhat from the sunrise.
Well, it's not sunrise, it's sun setting. It was setting,
Oh, okay.
and now it's
There was a sun?
yeah. There was a sun, yes, and now the moon is rising.
Whoa.
Is this your first time seeing a sunset?
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
Even the sky. Anyway.
As you continue to follow, they don't seem to take any notice to you whatsoever as you're darting into the shadows, able to blend in with the darkness, until eventually you see them, although they're trying to cover their tracks, you rolled really high, both of you, on your stealth check, where you were able to stay close enough to catch them without being noticed. Eventually they walk through a small building that seems to be down a dark alleyway. Looking at it, you see you're kind of hidden in the back. Roll me perception checks, because you're a little far away. All right, Horatio with a 19 and Minako with an 11. All right. Minako, you can't quite make it out, but Horatio, you're now looking. You've been staring at your mother this entire time, this feeling of nostalgia. You see onto the door that they're staring at a strange symbol, a symbol that you now recognize just from your experiences to be the symbol of the Aegis. It's like the symbol of the shield on the doorway. And Gaia places her hands onto it. You hear her mutter a word in Elvish, but you speak the language, so you automatically recognize this door says which translates to the shield will protect the masses. And as she says that, the doorway opens up, revealing an illusion that she easily passes through, and the rest of them go, and it reappears once again.
And what she said was the shield what?
Will protect the masses.
The shield will protect the masses.
In Elvish.
Okay. And I say to Minako, it might be dangerous to continue. Are you willing?
We've been brought here for a reason. Or we're extremely fortunate and we can't let this pass.
I don't know what would happen if we interfere with the knowledge that we have. We might be able to change something, don't you think?
What?
I mean, if this is Gaia, then it's obvious we're in the past somehow, but is this all a dream, or?
If we stop them, then it would change everything, but I can't imagine. We would be disrupting something. I mean, they're not them now, but these are the gods. I mean, Nyx has to arise.
You're willing to keep going, then I'm also willing to keep going. I haven't been this close to my mother in years.
Just remember, she doesn't know you.
Right.
Are you gonna be okay?
I don't know. I think so. There's only one way to find out, though. And then Horatio nods at Minako as well and continues.
Okay. You guys are walking up to the door?
Yeah.
Alright. The two of you walk up towards the door and you're there. Now you can clearly see the silver etching of the symbol of a shield made out in a strange runic shape with lines going through it, connecting in a mathematical, angular connection. But the design, angular design, and it just sits there glowing very faintly.
I will repeat the words in Elvish. The shield will protect the masses.
And as you do, the illusion begins to unfurl and the door begins to dissipate, revealing inside a small walkway that opens up something into the distance.
Let's go.
Alright. You all begin walking. Are you continuing to stealth?
Yeah.
All right. We'll keep your stealth check. And you begin to walk down this stone corridor until finally it opens up to there's no door. It just opens up to a hallway that's a gigantic circular room. In it, there are several people sitting around tables, and there are weapons strewn on the walls, as well as frescoes and designs of what seem to be, from looking at it now, although they look fresh enough, ancient warriors battling creatures that have long been since forgotten. Sitting at the table at the head there are 3 seats that are in, and it's on a platform that is elevated. And sitting there now, getting into their seats and getting themselves comfortable, is Gaia in the middle, Eros on the left, Erebus on the right. They look. There's a gavel-like device onto the table that Gaia grabs, and lifting it up, she slams it down onto the table, making a large banging noise. This banging noise could be heard throughout the entire chamber. Like, it was much louder than you thought it would be, and everyone who was chattering and talking completely goes silent. Looking on all these, there must be 20, maybe even 30 people in this room, and they all look and become hushed. I call this meeting of the Aegis, Gaia says. We have found the map that will lead to the door to Eustacia. I, Gaia, as well as Eros and Erebus, will be going. As your Trias, will find the doorway, become the gods, and finally protect this world. The Prolefsi have left us unguarded, so it is time for us mortals to take the thrones, to decide our own fate. And everyone starts to get hyper and goes, yeah, we will dominate and protect us from the abyss. Demons walk everywhere. We are unprotected, and there are rumors that the demon lord, he slumbers and will awaken soon. And at that time, there'll be no hope for the mortal realm. So before that happens, we will all ascend. We will rule over the dominions that the Prolefsi claim to rule now, and truly guide us into a new era. With the tieflings to the north, the Arakakans to the east, the gnomes, and the dwarves in the mountainsides. We have gathered everyone together. Our fate will be in our hands. No one will stop us. They will be our champions here, while we ascend, and through their prayers, we will usher in a new era. To the Aegis! And everyone shouts, to the Aegis! And you're just witnessing this. At this moment, one of the gentlemen who's kind of shouting, as everyone's going, yeah, here, turns around and says, and locks eyes as you guys are poking around the corner. Fortunately, his perception was a little high, and as you were sneaking around the corner, he turns and says, Intruders! Intruders! And everyone stops talking and shifts to you, and the Trias just stare directly at as they all lock and see Monaco in the corner, kind of poking over. Meanwhile, Duran, King, the 2 of you enter into the tree, following Sariel. And as you walk in, you enter into a large bark-like grotto. It's packed with what seems to be a lot of refugees. There are weaponry all around, people donning armor, talking, praying. You hear one person yell, what is the point of praying? Even the Aegis have left us. EA rules. Chaos reigns. What's the point? What's the point? And then some more people go over and grab the elven gentleman and try to hush him down. And you see there are elves in their full elvish form here, as well as humans, dwarves, gnomes, just all the masses that normally, even tieflings, all underneath this one roof. And it's pretty big in here, like a barracks inside this tree. Ariel turns to the 2 of you. Welcome to the Resistance. Welcome to the Resistance. Please, have a seat. There's so much, and that needs to be explained to you all. It's been so long, so many years. And she walks on over towards a table that's free, and everyone notices you walking, and like the commotion hushes as they're like,
How much time has passed, Sariel?
It's been 10 years. 10 years since that fateful day when the Corpores Arcana struck down onto Thelos, wiping out the barriers that were placed to protect each ley line. King Terminus, he was the entity the power that bound the ley lines together, protecting the districts of Thelos. And unfortunately, the force of the crash of the Corporus was too much. He was rendered powerless, fallen to the ground while he was struck by the undead army, and the wave crashed into, with no more defenses against the darkness. The demons laid waste with the undead, with no reinforcements. Fia fell to Hiei, and guiding the army shortly after, he came down and claimed Thelos as his true capital. Duskhaven is his. The demon kingdom to the east, ruled by him. Demons just come in and out. The gate of Kilmont is gone. Oxior Heights, riddled with darkness.
Kilmont Gate has been demolished?
Yes,
What of the Unity Knights?
corrupted or killed. This is all that's left of people that I swore to protect. That I swore to protect for you, king to be crowned, incarnation of Myliki. I have failed you so.
No, you have not failed. Look at the life that you have helped flourish in these dark times. You saved us, and you kept hope alive, because if no one was here, then there would not be a chance.
Roll a persuasion check. You notice that one thing she doesn't have, although she has like the energy of Sariel, she definitely seems a lot more downtrodden, and she is not talking in the collective we anymore. You definitely notice that.
21.
21, alright. She goes, I did as much as I could. The doorways to the other planes, sealed.
And what of King Terminus? Is he slain?
Dead.
Queen Camilla is slain as well?
Dead.
Oh no. Where are we exactly? As
The last bastion, the last sanctuary. This is the Faithful.
okay.
The only place that is safe.
Yeah.
And you remember the Faithful as the place you first entered when you got to Duskhaven.
Yeah. I'll put my hands on my temples and rub my head. And I'll say, we were in an explosion. The Arcanum, Corpus Arcanum, as it was falling, we were inside of that, and we used magic to escape, and then wound up here, and this when it happened in a blink of an eye for us. I'm sorry that we weren't able to do anything after it fell, or defend the city or help in any way.
Oh, you are powerful indeed, O Mother of the Forest, O Myliki, Incarnation King to be crowned. I don't know how, but you have traveled through space and time, brought here, unfortunately, to see the travesty that has become the future.
Sariel, what of the other... any of the other Liberators? What has happened to them? Do you know?
We don't. You all disappeared. We thought you all killed in the explosion. It's just a miracle that the Stella still lives. And she says as opening her hands towards you both.
It is through your grace and this bond that and I'll squeeze Duran's hand, that we were able to survive quite a few encounters.
Yes, and Sariel, I fear that since our encounter at the castle, the explosion, that king's wound.
Can I see my king to be crowned?
I will unbutton my vest and then pull back my undershirt and expose my chest.
At this point, you all see a shining light coming through a jagged, lightning-shaped scar going from the top to the bottom of his sternum. Oh, you must have used great magic. It was only through the power of your Stellus bond that you're even here.
I had no other choice. What was I to do? Let the city fall? I mean, I guess it is in vain.
No, please. You are our only hope. It may be too late to change what has happened, but at least we can work to fix what is now. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe it's time for you to truly become your new self. No longer king or Myliki, but a new incarnation. Maybe it's time for you to realize who you truly are. I'm so sorry you couldn't spend much time with your Stellus, but fears might be too late for such revelries.
Let us rest. We must not make any rash decisions.
Indeed. If anything, we must alert you. Of course, there is a plan we have in place that can possibly at least bring balance back to Thelos. The Faithful's connected. to the arcane capital. We can travel between this tree, and we wish to, maybe now that you're here, we wish to use the throne of Terminus and bring balance back to the weave, to the ley lines that crawl between the plane. But unfortunately, he sits on that throne. But we're ready to make an assault, to distract him and sit our most powerful mage onto it. Maybe that can be you. But alas, we should rest.
I think that we must fully prepare and understand the circumstances. We're quite exhausted from what just happened, and I do not think we are making the best decisions. Do not despair. Should that be the only option and the way to restore peace in this land, then I must to save the people.
Yes, please rest, my lord, my lady, our savior. Please, we have a spare cottage here in the corner. If you don't mind sharing, we have very little supplies.
Yes, that's fine.
Right.
Thank you.
The cot over there, and she points on over, and it's like a small little, like, kind of army barracks cot that you two can probably fit in.
Come on, Duran. Let's rest.
Duran squeezes King's hand but says nothing as they go.
As you walk past, there's a small procession that kind of splits of people who are there. A couple people try to reach out and grab you, King, and other people are like, don't touch her.
As they reach out, I'll turn to them and I'll say, hope lives. It's within you. And just try and say, like, inspiring words to each, like, little individual and just, like, start to spark, like new hope and, like, new growth in this community.
The one gentleman who was going crazy before looks on over to you, or you, and the person says, see, they return. All is not lost. The plan will succeed. Thank you. The one person and then the person who was going, the gentleman who was going a little stark crazy, is like, oh, okay. It's a miracle. Can't believe it. Miracle. And people just start whispering, miracle, miracle, it's a miracle, as you head over towards your cot. Meanwhile, surrounding by all these crystals and glittering water that flows throughout the world of Eustacia in the astral plane, how close towards the divine entity known as Nyx, you finally begin trudging deeper and deeper into the forest. There is a set of Stonehenge-like crystals set across, while there's these three figures sitting down on a stone on a stone bench. They seem to be weaving, operating a plume, writing down things on a papyrus. Come, mortal key, the Morai await. Yes, and you hear, Mother, we know you're there. We know you're with the mortal key. We have foreseen it, as is written. Please, step forward, and if you bear the payment, which we know you will, we'll reveal the answers to the questions that you have. And Nyx, keeping you within her blanket, begins walking towards the Stonehenge crystal structure that they're all sitting at. Nyx walks up and says, my daughters, it was wonderful to see you again. It's been ages. 632 years to be exact, Mother, says one of the women. And then now, as they turn around, you can see they are triplets. Each of them, they have like a thin frame. They're all wearing the same clothes, which seems to be this dark goldish ensemble. But one is carrying the papyrus, one is weaving, the other one's working the plume. Yes, I know it's been quite some time, my daughters, but there's no need for me to explain everything, as I know you know. Can you please assist the mortal key? Come, Calamity Morgal.
I walk out from beneath the blanket of Nyx.
Okay. You're handsome in the flesh, says the one working the plume. Come, have a seat.
Cal blushes. You've heard about me then, huh?
Of course, we know all that was, is, and will be. Though the future, says the one with the papyrus, is not always set in stone. As Mother has said, we are the Morai, the Fates. I, the one who seems to be with a needle and thread, am Clotho, and the other goes, I am Lachesis, and the third goes, I am Atropos. In order for you to defy fate itself, you must know of the past and know of the future. Your allies are lost within it. Cast between time itself, they experience them for themselves. But as the mortal key, it is your responsibility to harbor all the knowledge and make the proper choice. Make the wrong one, Calamity Morgal, and you forsake and doom everyone. All will be lost in madness. Nevertheless, they stop their workings and walk up towards you. The one who greeted you before Lachesis, he goes and pulls you on over. He says, smiling, and sits you in and sits you over towards the seat where they were all sitting down, doing their work.
Then let's begin.
Then we shall. Clotho walks up to you and she says, I must tell you about the past, how everything came to the way it was. There you shall understand your present, and then decide, if you can, your future. Long ago, the Prolepsy ruled, protecting the mortal planes in a balance of law. How it came to be, as it was formed through an emptiness, a void. And from that void, split two entities. Eustacia, the entity of law and order, in chaos. Chaos known as the Abyss, this malice, contempt, and chaos. Born for them were entities that appeared and began to alter the magic, the energy that swirled everywhere throughout all of the multiplanes. This was known as the Spellweave, and these entities that formed began to bring dominion over the creations that the Weave began to make. But surely enough, as Eustacia grew in power, ruling over the people that they created in the planes, chaos grew as well, and split from it more and more planes, until the world became what as you know it, with the 9 hells, the abyss, the astral sea, and so on and so forth, countless of infinite multiple planes. But everything was kept in balance. Prolepsy, though, over time, began to grow weaker in power, and the chaos grew stronger. Pockets began to open up throughout the mortal planes. Demons, children of the abyss, children of chaos began showing, and when the mortals cried out for assistance, Prolepsy were unable to heed their call. In doing so, the mortals found out openings, rifts in space and time, doorways that led, echoes from the time when Eustacia was first created, as well as the other planes, until mortals found the doorway to Eustacia, battling through the protections that the Prolepsia sought through. 3 powerful mages, calling themselves the Trias, had entered forward, gaining the power of the gods. This coming from a world that was a combination of chaos and law, they had new power, new energy that overran all the Prolepsy, pushing them back. But unfortunately, this released a darkness. Chaos was able to seep through with them, causing mayhem. In corrupting that of Eustacia, a foothold was placed into the mortal planes. But by then it was too late, and chaos reigned, augmenting that of the mortal realms. A Prolepsy and an Aegis, as they call themselves, the new gods, formed an alliance, a forbidden alliance, in the form of Myliki and Mother Nyx, he says, turning over. An alliance with one other entity, whereas Eustacia's law and order, there was one other that reflect our motives, albeit dark in nature, and that was the 9 hells. So with the arch-fiend Asmodeus, combining the powers of the 3, they sealed and started to pull away at the power of chaos as the abyss, and Asmodeus was charged to hold away the demons for as long as he can. Unfortunately, one of the Aegis betrayed in the form of Erebus, who saw the power of chaos be the salvation they needed to finally destroy the Prolepsy and truly take power. Myliki lost her form, and Nyx, with the last bit of her energy, expended the power of the vagaries onto the tieflings, as they were spawns from Asmodeus, and through the pact he trusted them, as it is their infernal pact to guard against chaos, to defeat the abyss. And as she finishes speaking, Lachesis, who's been holding on to the entire time, steps up. And then came the great sundering, the cataclysm. Now that chaos had been at least put at bay, the Aegis saw the error in the ways of the Trias, of Erebus, of Gaia and Eros. They were to blame for what had happened. The great war tore everything asunder. The death of gods, the chaos of it all, they had to be punished. So Gaia, Erebus, and Eros, was the cause of this, were stripped from their godhood, brought into their new forms. Granted, they kept their immortality, but where they were to forever walk the world as mortals, to live, to die, to get sick, and to repeat for the rest of time. But they didn't want to live that way. Through an act of defiance, Gaia created a weapon, a sword that would tear the world asunder, that would reverse everything that they have done. And in doing so, she created what is known as the Void. Through the power of the sword and the misuse of it by Erebus, the world was split apart. Igbriel was split apart, the mortal plane, into a vast amount of planes, entirety of people, of races split apart, new planes created, everything torn asunder, and the only thing connecting together was what was known as the Void. And the world you know as of it now was created. And your future, says Atropos as she finishes working on her, writing in her papyrus. Erebus seeks to retain his god, retrieve his godhood once again. He seeks to rejoin the trees together and forsake that of all of the Aegis and the Prolepsy. They want to become something new. He is seeking the shards of the weapon that was created by Gaia. In doing so, he will truly release the abyss upon the world. But that is just a pawn in the plan of the true entity. Kind, sweet Eros, shifted mad from their punishment, has become the dark mage known as Halaster. And he plays with the Trias as his pawns. He needs Erebus to gather the shards, for he wishes to open not the doorway to Eustacia, not the doorway to the abyss, but to someplace else, someplace unbeknownst to even the Prolepsy, a place of madness, a place of aberrations, known only as the Far Realm. There he will throw the world into madness. Nothing will be as it was. There will be no control. Only he will reign supreme. All will be lost, and so is the future. Unless you and the chosen of the gods, the new age of divinity, are able to put a stop to it. The rest is unwritten, he says, holding up the papyrus to you. And you must make your own future. And they put down their different mediums and just stand there.
My family. You said some are in the future and some are in the past.
Yes, we have seen King and Duran, Myliki and Myliki's protector, cast off into the future, seeing what will be, and Horatio and Monaco have been thrust into the past, witnessing the events that has transpired. But only you have the full picture, and you must guide them. You are the mortal key. Unlock the future that will save us all.
I understand. To save the future, I'll need my friends, and we'll have to get back to the past.
We can send you back to the present, but as we said, there is a cost to knowledge. Are you willing to pay it?
Yes.
Lotho goes into the plume and underneath it, and seems to pull out a small cube. The cube has strange celestial markings onto it, as well as other different languages. Language is just long forgotten, and what you do recognize as some type of primordial, or exactly what it says you're not sure. Although we have the power to see into the past, present, and future, that is all we can do but be viewers. We wish to take our own fates in our own hands, and to do so as a fate breaker, as the mortal key. All we need for you to do is unlock this, and she says, holding up the box. What it unlocks, you need not know. All you need to know is that this will alter the future, for better or for worse, but will benefit us greatly if you shall fail. But the choice is yours. Save your friends and create a possible adversary in your future, or be cautious and lose everything. But we know what ends. We already know the answer you're going to choose, don't we, Cal? She says, bringing out the cube. Or holding out further, I mean.
Can I? And whenever I start with that kind of sentence, it's going to be something that I can try to wiggle into here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Trying to think of the right way to do this. Can I use my divine sense to feel for the presence of Kalimvor or Hades specific. Like, it would be a very familiar energy and aura in particular. I would understand, like, I'm in Eustacia, there's going to be divine energy everywhere and I'm going to get, like, nuked by it. But, like, specifically the frequency of my god that I'm familiar with and is who I pray to and become empowered by.
Roll me a religion check. Since you're in Eustacia, you can do this at advantage.
Okay, I'll need it. Oh my goodness. I dropped a natural 1 and rolled a 19 plus 0.
19. Coming from the cube, you sense the power of, it feels like Kalimvor, but it's not. And thinking that it just might be the power of Hades. And it's definitely emanating from this cube. Other than that, and your surrounding, it's just full of god energy, so you can't make though. But like specifically, concentrated Hades power is coming from this cube.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Alright.
I will approach the fates and slowly reach out with my left hand, a white light beginning to glow as I open the box.
Alright. And as you begin to open the box, there you see the runes and the shapes begin to twist and turn like locks on a key, locks on a door, and you're the key unlocking it, and it twists and turns like cogs until finally they all reach into a strange circular symbol, and the cube turns into a spherical shape that opens up like a flower petal. And in doing so, a bright light shines across all of you, and you hear the face says, "We knew you would make the right decision." As you are blinded, holding up your hands to your eyes to block from the sheer brightness of it, you hear Nyx whisper something into your ear, and everything fades away. Meanwhile, being stared at by a room full of people, Monaco, you are, Horatio, you're still hidden. It's just Monaco who gets noticed as you're just peeking out.
She will step out into the open.
Horatio will step out with her.
Okay. So Horatio, you step out and reveal yourselves, and the Adrenalin goes, "Intruders! Who are you? How did you get in here?"
We come in peace. We do not wish to fight. Just
Scanning the room, do we see Nyx?
Roll me a perception check. A 9. You kind of scan the room. There's a lot of faces in here, and then kind of glance by, you think you see in the corner, standing next to the table where the Trias are currently standing up, staring at you, looks to be a beautiful human woman who has a resemblance of the features of Nyx, though just kind of getting lost in the crowd. But you all, for a moment, everything is tense, and then appearing right in front of you with his neck tightly grabbed around your neck, with his hand tightly grabbed behind your neck, Horatio, lifting you up as you're starting to choke, you see is Erebus standing there, and he looks like a elven Eladrin, with his pointy ears and very fine features and blonde hair, and he starts to clench it, and he goes, "What are you doing here? Explain yourself or die."
Come bearing a warning of your plans. That is all.
Put him down. Don't you recognize him? Look at that face.
He goes and looks at the face and stares, and then looks back over at Gaia, and then looks back over at Horatio's face, and then drops him onto the ground. Misty stepping in front of you as well. It appears Gaia and Eros as well, as everyone kind of just looks on over in shock. Gaia, and then at this point, you're on the ground coughing, and you look up and see the eyes of your mother staring over you as she looks down at you. "What sorcery is this? You look just like my father."
I can assure you it's no sorcery.
Everyone, you are dismissed. Carry on, you know the plan. We will convene another meeting shortly. We'll let you know. She seems very flustered, and everyone kind of gets up and starts just poofing away, like poof, 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 as they all start just to disappear.
And he's just kind of frozen, looking at Gaia.
"Have you been sent by the agents of the Abyss to hinder our plans? Explain yourself now."
We do not come from no agents of the Abyss. It may seem hard to believe, but it seems we have come from the future. Future where 3 of you succeed in walking into Eustacia. and the calamity that it brings forth.
They look at each other. How do you know? What? That makes no sense, you see, Gaia. Flustered. Speak no more. If anything is of what you say it is, speak no more of it. Look, and she kind of gets flustered. And she walks back towards one of the tables and just sits down. And Eros and Erebus flock to her as well, and they always seem to kind of fawn over her. Say, oh, you were right. Guy, are you okay? You hear coming from Eros. We can't. I don't know how this happened. How these visitors from the future came here, but I believe them. I don't know how to explain it, but we are to succeed. The plan will continue. Listen, strangers, please. I don't know why you came here, or what your goal is, but you do not know what you are messing with. This power, this ability that you were able to travel through time, we can't have nothing of it. Who knows the dangers you put foot? Everyone, if anything, no. And she begins to walk off. I don't know. You have to leave now, he says.
Gaia, please.
Leave!
If I may show you something before I do so.
You can show me. And then Erebus walks up towards you.
Horatio looks at him with some disdain in his eyes and pulls out his on his left side and goes to the image of Susan Payne holding baby Horatio and kind of holds it so that everyone can see. I am not lying. I don't know how we got here, but the events you guys are about to unfold brings forth more destruction than you can imagine. You guys have to think twice about what you're gonna do.
I've heard enough. Erebus snaps his fingers, and doing so as silence is wafted across the room. I need you and Monaco to make wisdom saving throws. Okay, so a 12 and a 19. 12 for Monaco, Horatio with a 19. In doing so, the room is halted and no sound. As you continue speaking, both of you are unable to speak, and no words come out. We will not... Yes.
Is there time for a counterspell on that?
You can surely attempt to.
She will!
Alright, roll me your spellcasting ability check.
Sure. The fact that she's casting it at 5th level should help.
Okay.
Or not. Oh, 23.
23. Alright. So you go ahead and you attempt to counterspell the silence. In doing so, the silence does waft over you, and then all of a sudden, it sucks back up, and Dorama looks like, ugh! And he kind of growls. I see, we have an arcanist in our midst. No matter, I don't trust them. I think we should leave now, Gaia, and take them with us.
Please, you must take caution when you go.
I won't hear any of this! As he says that, he kind of stomps his feet, and a boom is heard across, and is almost reminiscent of the Doramo that you know, the Doramo you saw. Like, you get the energy of him just, and Gaia shoots him a look. Fine. Things are happening much faster, but I agree with you, Erebus. Calm down. Whatever this is, it's only meant to delay us. We must hurry. Bring them with us. I don't trust them. Who knows what other dangers they could put to the future. As long as they're near us, we can tell exactly where they are and keep tabs on them. Erebus turns to her. I couldn't agree more. Unless you two want to be disintegrated where you stand, come with us.
Horatio puts his book away, has like a worried look towards Gaia, and then looks at Erebus angrily. Says, "You don't know how much trouble you guys are about to cause."
He looks at you, his finger starting to glow. One more word, and we'll see how many times you can counter my spell. And then they look at each other, and so they have like a moment when they're just staring at each other, and you get reminiscent of how you guys talk in your brain chat. But after they shake their heads and go, fine, come along, and they start to walk through the door. You follow. Actually, it's a guy who works for it first, and Erebus and Eros are right behind you. And they're kind of ushering you to go. And they're like, move.
All right.
Horatio kind of limping but walking himself.
All right. So as you both leave the halls of this Aegis hideout, we will take a break. Hi, I'm the Tale Weaver Omar, and DM here at A Tale of D20's Network.
Hi, I'm Zektown, and I am the DM here at A Tale of D20's Network.
Zek, you know I am the Dungeon Master for the drama-fueled, anime-inspired fantasy epic Descent into the Void, right?
Yes, but Omar, you know I am the Dungeon Master for the comedy-riddled, trope-smashing fantasy epic The Natural Ones.
I guess both of them are perfect shows for a tabletop podcasting network.
It's a good thing that people can find us at ataleofd20s.com then.
Yeah, you can also find us on Twitter at A Tale of D20s. That's at ATALEOFD20S, A Tale of D20s.
And you can find each show on Twitter at The Nat Ones Cast, at THENAT1SCAST, The Nat Ones Cast, or Descent Void at DESCENTVOID, Descent Void on Twitter.
So, if you want thrilling drama,
or a side-splitting comedy, A Tale of D20s has you covered.